Hey everyone. Why am I coming to you from on top of a roof that I climbed up overlooking a sewage treatment plant? I don't know, it seemed appropriate. This video is about a person who's kind of a giant piece of shit. But it's about more than just her as well. Yeah, as many of you know, I was in Florida recently. It's not a place that I enjoy going. I don't like spending my dollars in any area that friends and loved ones of mine are not safe going. It's not fair of me to go there. Orlando's the one exception I make. I kind of have to. There are some things that just are only hosted in Orlando, and my company sends me there. But also, places like Disney, Universal, the tourism industry is the one really strong political bloc in the state that is fighting the governor and every turn against all his bigotry. Which I'm just really talking about piece of shit human beings. The governor, like DeSantis, right? Like, it upsets me even more that he doesn't, in my opinion, believe most of the crap that he spouts. Like, it's just a political position. Many politicians are just like, well, I can pick on this group. They have no political power. I'll just punch them down and, kick down at them. I don't think he actually even believes half the shit that he tries to stand for, but he knows it'll get him votes with the bigot crowd, and that's Florida for you. That's parts of the state. But I was in Orlando, and I have a lot of friends there. I have a lot of friends who like the theme parks. It's the one place I'll spend my money. So I said, yeah. A couple of my local friends, both, queer, trans, etc. They said, hey, we could take off a little time. We have a little free pass. What would you say about going to Universal? And I was like, yeah, actually, I love Disney. I love Universal. Magical place. Like, if you don't go down to the theme parks, if you're not a roller coaster person like me, like I enjoy thrills and chills, I love Universal. But I'll admit, I was really conflicted about saying yes. I haven't been down there in a long time, specifically to Universal Studios, because of their affiliation with J.K. Rowling, right? The Harry Potter Wizarding World. I remember I was like as excited as many of you probably were when it first opened up. It was a magical experience. They do it really well. They do everything there really well. But I just couldn't bring myself to give any money. Like, I'm like, it just feels wrong. It feels unsupportive of my loved ones. And a number of you, I know you talk about this online, and this is what the conversation today is about. You see friends of yours going to like the Wizarding World or going to other touristy Harry Potter spots and posting on social media in your Hufflepuff or your Ravenclaw colors, and it just freaking hurts. Like, it's just, in my opinion, it's cringe. And I didn't want to be a part of it. But they invited me, and there's plenty of other areas in Universal Orlando that I like a lot. I love Dr. Seuss Land. I enjoy the Simpsons ride. I had a duff, at Moe's Tavern. We just skipped Harry Potter World completely, with the exception of the bathrooms. They do like to go pee in, in J.K. Rowling's backyard. But the question I have for you all, and this I'm interested here. Do you think that avoiding all of the fandom entirely is the only appropriate move? How do you feel when you see other people participate in, the sort of the Harry Potter fandom, knowing that it is so directly tied to a hate monger, bigot, awful woman? And there's plenty of arguments to be made. I've heard people say, look, the fandom is bigger than one lady. It's not just about her. And other people say, there's so many other good, franchises out there. Why does anybody still need this one? Both of those fully valid arguments. We sat and talked about it. We actually sat and talked about it over a butterbeer. That's the one thing I will grab. As we walked through, we hustled through that part of the park. I grabbed one butterbeer, and of course, you know the move, right? You put a fire whiskey in there. They don't like you to do that, but fuck them, fuck the rules. So as we're just kind of walking around at the rest of Universal, ultimately, the discussion went in a direction that I found useful, and I'm sharing with you here. And my takeaway from everything we shared and said is that really, there's different kinds of participation with a fandom or with a community. The two big categories of participation is just merely engaging with a fandom. This could mean reading the books if you still have the books on a shelf. I know most people I know have gotten rid of the books. This could be like wearing an old shirt or something because you got it as a gift and it meant something to you, right? This could just be in your own mind, like remembering the stories fondly or something. And all of those activities I just described, the key thing there is they don't meaningfully give support to J.K. Rowling and the entire enterprise that she is at the command of, right? So supporting the fandom is a different beast. And that's the part that I personally find really kind of inexcusable at this point, right? So buying new copies of the books, like you're putting money in her pocket. Buying the movies on streaming services, like she's getting royalties. Buying that terrible video game that came out, like she's getting royalties. Providing direct fiscal and cultural kind of cachet to an awful person is, in my mind, that's the inexcusable line. That's the line that I won't cross. I was only okay with actually going to Universal because we looked it up and I had to read about it, and it turns out, like, I guess there was an initially, like, a licensing deal with J.K. Rowling, but she doesn't get money per person who's going through the gates at Universal Studios. The problem, however, is that you have those two worlds, right? You have sort of mere engagement and then like financial support, supporting financially, culturally, etc. This raises a question, however, about a kind of a middle ground where it's not directly financially supporting her, but it is promoting her. And I think if you really get into it, this is where a lot of people get the most hurt by their friends and family. It comes from posts on social media. It comes from, throwing theme parties or something where you're perpetuating this franchise in the cultural mindset and you're still putting dollars in JKR's pocket. That's the key thing. And the question there is different for each person. So I have people that I know and look up to, and like I kind of cringe when they post online. Like Tiffany J. Marie, great creator. I don't know her personally, but I love her work. She talks about women's rights. She talks about being child-free. If you don't follow her, I'll link to her down there. She's got great content online. But again, like she did, here she is in like a Hufflepuff sweater because that's her thing. Many soft-hearted people love to claim to be part of the Badger House, right? And here she is like in Scotland, so proud to go see parts of the countryside where like Harry Potter was filmed. My very good friend of mine, Snubs, like I know Shannon and Keith, lovely couple, good people. Like they were over there and they were happy to promote. Like again, this is the question. Do they see it as promoting or just participating? How big, like Tiffany's audience is well over 100,000 followers on Insta. Snubs is big online. She's not as big as Tiff, but like she's got 17, 18,000 followers, and her YouTube's following as well. That's, I think, the question. I think depending on how big your audience is, how much cachet you bring to the table, are you merely participating passively, or are you supporting something that really needs to just kind of not be supported anymore because it sucks? I'm not calling anyone in this video bad. I'm calling J.K. Rowling bad, but I'm not calling out my friends here. I'm asking a question. I'm asking how you all feel seeing me like drink a butterbeer and then gladly throw out the cup because I don't want it. I kind of honestly think at this point there's almost a parallel to religion for me. Like, I'm not pretty down with most religions. I think a lot of them teach a lot of toxic things to kids at a young age when they're too young to reason their way through life. But like, if you have religion and it's inside of your head or inside your heart and like that's your participation and it's quiet inside of you, live your life, whatever. Put pineapple on pizza, I don't care. I question why you believe what you believe, maybe if it's making you do evil shit, but plenty of people I know, like I came from Catholicism. Tara is still kind of nominally Catholic to some degree in her life. But like, again, that's not her whole personality. When people make their religion or their Harry Potter house or anything else their entire personality, they wear the clothes out in public, they post all over Facebook or whatever social media about it. If that's your whole jam, you are probably telling a large segment of the population who are, queer, trans, you name it, that you don't care about them or that you're not safe for them to be around. If you have it all just in your own head and in your heart, privacy of your home, like, fine, whatever, you do you. If you're going around and like, again, splashing it all over Instagram, all over YouTube, if you're perpetuating the next generation of kids getting interested in a franchise that could probably go away, if you're perpetuating the next generation of youth getting interested in systems of faith and belief that we have evolved past as a society, that's where I'm like, okay, can you put that away, please? Do you have to wear that? That's where I come down on this. I don't know where you do. But I had these thoughts. My friends and I talked about it. We had these thoughts. We shared these thoughts as a conversation. And now I'm just having the conversation here. I know it's probably the last butterbeer I'm going to have. Again, I've been Just I'm taking less sweets and sugars into my body a lot, and just ugh. Without the fire whiskey, I couldn't do it. Yeah, maybe I can have a fire whiskey now. That's not Harry Potterverse. That's an actual brand that exists. It existed before the franchise, I believe. Yeah, maybe they don't have it at the bar. Maybe they just have another bottle of Powers. All right, I'm going to go sing or something at the local tavern tonight. I'm going to climb down from here because that smells. And I'm going to leave all the rest of you thinking these thoughts, sharing your comments, and saying hi to me with whatever you want to share later. All right, if you climb a roof over a shit Vegemixer, be careful on the way down, all right? Stay safe out there.